News with no bias, exposed. News with no exception, exposed. Delivering nothing but the truth.
This is STS Patrol the Expose. Your news, our business.
Broadcasting live from the University of San Agustin Newsroom, Iloilo. Good afternoon, Philippines.
Good afternoon, Iloilo and hello world.
It's a sunny day, June 6, 2023. This is Agape Moreno.
And this is Maxene Bitara.
Serving you the hottest and the most leading news of the hour. Your news, our business.
For the headlines.
What is gene therapy? How does it work? Here's Erica de la Cruz for the details.
Human gene therapy seeks to modify or manipulate the expression of a gene or to alter the biological properties of living cells for therapeutic use. Gene therapy is a technique that modifies a person's genes to treat or cure disease, including cancer, genetic diseases, and infectious diseases. Gene therapies can work by several mechanisms. First, we have the replacing a disease-causing gene with a healthy copy of the gene. Second, inactivating a disease-causing gene that is not functioning properly. Third, introducing a new or modified gene into the body to help treat a disease. Often, gene therapy works by adding new copies of a gene that is broken, or by replacing a defective or missing gene in a patient's cells with a healthy version of that gene. Both inherited genetic diseases such as hemophilia and sickle cell disease and acquired disorders like leukemia have been treated with gene therapy. This is Erica de la Cruz reporting. Your news, our business.
What are the uses of gene therapy? Correspondent Lory Edulag reports.
Gene therapy is used to correct defective genes in order to cure a disease or help your body better fight disease. Researchers are investigating several ways to do this, including replacing mutated genes. Some cells become diseased because certain genes work incorrectly or no longer work at all. Replacing the defective genes may help treat certain diseases. Fixing mutated genes that cause disease could be turned off so that they no longer promote disease, or healthy genes could help prevent disease could be turned on so that they could inhibit the disease, making disease cells more evident to the immune system. In some cases, your immune system doesn't attack disease cells because it doesn't recognize them as intruders. Doctors could use gene therapy to train your immune system to recognize the cells that are a threat. Gene therapy can be used to treat a variety of genetic conditions, including inherited vision loss, blood disorders, spinal muscular atrophy, cancers, heart disease, cystic fibrosis, diabetes, hemophilia, and AIDS. This is your correspondent, Lory Edulag. Your news is our business.
How do you classify gene therapy? More risky or more beneficial? Here's Chrissel Grande for the update.
Gene therapy is a rapidly growing subject that has the potential to treat various diseases and genetic problems with considerable advantages. Gene therapy, however, has potential advantages as well as risks, just like any medical procedure depending on various factors. The exact disease being treated, the route of delivery, and the stage of development of the therapy are among the variables that determine whether gene therapy is more dangerous or more advantageous. It is important to remember that clinical trials are currently being used to research and assess the dangers and advantages of gene therapy. It holds significant potential for treating and potentially curing genetic diseases. However, it also carries inherent risks and challenges that must be carefully managed. Therefore, it would be appropriate to classify gene therapy as a technology with both beneficial and risky aspects. This is Chrissel and Grande for the Gene Therapy Update. Your news, our business.
Should people be allowed to use gene therapy to enhance basic human traits? Here's Agape Moreno for the details.
In the first place, does selecting particular traits pose health risks that would not have otherwise existed? The safety of the procedures used for pre-implanting genetic diagnosis is currently under investigation. And because this is a relatively new form of reproductive technology, there is by nature a lack of long-term data and adequate number of research subjects. Trait selection and enhancement in embryos raise moral issues involving both individuals and society. As an example, in the late 1990s, scientists discovered a gene that is linked to memory. Modifying this gene in mice greatly improved learning and memory. However, it also caused increased sensitivity to pain, which is obviously not a desirable trait. Finally, in terms of society, it is not feasible for everyone to have access to this type of expensive technology. Thus, perhaps only the most privileged members of society will be able to have designer children that possess greater intelligence or physical attractiveness. Furthermore, this may create a genetic aristocracy and lead to new forms of inequality. As a final point, it is not recommended for people to use gene therapy in altering or enhancing human traits. What do you think should scientists and researchers do in order to help further the success rate of gene therapy and make it able to be more widely used in the future? Correspondent Maxene Bitara reports.
Scientists and researchers should establish a balance between clinical and research Scientists and researchers should establish a balance between clinical and research activity and combine public and private investigation in line with the science of gene therapy to further the success rate of gene therapy and make it more widely used in the future. In fact, diseases with a genetic cause could, in theory, be treated by supplying a correct version of the faulty gene. A promising method for the delivery of such genes involves the use of DNA or lipid complexes or lipoplexes. Scientists at the University of Groningen have now used advanced simulations to investigate how these lipoplexes deliver DNA fragments into cells with results that could improve its efficiency. Recent successes in genetic medicine have paved the path for a broader second wave of therapies and laid the foundation for next-generation technologies. However, ethical concerns should be strictly considered. Thus, gene and cell therapy development has the potential to transform the pharmaceutical industry, but researchers and scientists must work together to overcome challenges down the line. This is your correspondent, Maxene Bitara. Your news, our business. This has been Maxene Bitara.
And this is Agape Moreno.
See you again next time for another 7 minutes of
News with no bias exposed. News with no exception exposed.
This is STS Patrol, the Expose.
Your news, our business.
God bless, keep safe.